Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to be here and so glad to be able to introduce Chaya Hagler, who is a certified birth doula, a virtual prenatal coach, massage therapist, VBAC trained doula, childbirth educator, and placenta encapsulation provider. Chaya has supported moms at hospitals, birth centers, and home births over the past 10 years. She supports women from various backgrounds through her doula work, as well as virtual prenatal coaching, childbirth education, and birth planning. Chaya's training comes from Lander Institute and Bikur Colleen Hospital, Anthem Institute, Midwifery Apprenticeship, and the VBAC Link. Chaya's favorite motto is, "A positive birth experience is having your mind and body working together." Her goal when working with her clients is to help them achieve a positive birth experience, that they come away from the experience feeling strong and empowered. Chaya and her husband moved to the Houston area from the East Coast in 2013 and have 2 children, both born at home. They are currently homesteading in rural Texas. Chaya enjoys spending time with her family, outdoors, hiking, camping, and reading. So take it away, Chaya.
Wow, thank you so much for that introduction. Well, I'm excited to be sharing about baby-led weaning today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So baby-led weaning, I think some people don't even know what that is, and when they hear it, they're like, "Oh, what is that?" So I'm excited to be sharing more about what that is. Baby-led weaning helps both you and your baby to actually love meal times. It takes the stress out of it. Not to say there's no stress, but I think it takes the stress out of it. It makes it a lot more calm and relaxed, and you'll find out why. So first I want to start off with my book recommendations, because I think when going into anything, you want to research it and you want to have some background. So these are the books that I like to recommend. It's the Baby-Led Weaning Cookbook and the Baby-Led Weaning Essential Guide by Gil Rapley and Tracy Merkett. And just to tell you the difference, the Baby-Led Weaning Cookbook is the one I own, and I think it's completely sufficient. It goes into everything that you need to know for baby weaning, as well as it includes the cookbook. The Baby-Led Weaning Essential Guide goes a little bit more in depth, so if you want more in depth, then you want to go with that one. What is baby-led weaning? In very simple terms, it's letting your baby feed themselves from the very beginning. Actual real food, not the baby food purees. And just to take care of a little misconception, in the UK, weaning means adding foods, whereas in the US, it means giving up breastfeeding. So we are not talking about giving up breastfeeding. We're actually doing the opposite. So just so that is clear. All right, so what are the benefits? Okay, so why would one want to choose baby-led weaning over the traditional baby food purees? One, and these are the benefits that I put together, okay? So these are coming from me and from the research I've done and from my own experiences. So number one, bodily autonomy is learned from a young age, and that is such an important skill to instill our children with, okay? So from the young age of, from 6 months, whenever you are introducing food to them, they can already make decisions. Okay, so baby-led weaning doesn't include a spoon going to their mouth. It includes them being able to choose from what's in front of them, which color, which piece, which taste, so they can already make decisions on their own. And that actually already instills that skill of bodily autonomy. And okay, so positive associations with food, we all want our children to have that. And baby-led weaning, I believe, helps bring that. Healthier palate from a young age. Really, they get to try so many different tastes, and they get to make those decisions on their own. So again, it's giving the positive associations. You know, instead of food being shoved into their face, they're able to make those decisions on their own. So healthier palate, because you get to control what they're eating, and again, because it's positive and they have the positive associations, they will be more inclined to want to eat the variety of foods that you're introducing them to. Everyone gets to be included in meal time, so it makes meal times more pleasant. It makes family time. It just brings a positive, you know, experience to the family. nobody needs to feed the baby, which I find is so nice. I mean, yes, you need to prepare for them, but you get to enjoy your meal while your baby's enjoying their meal. So you don't have to be, you know, preoccupied with feeding your baby when you're hungry. Instead, you get to be eating together. Babies start to eat at the right time for your baby's individual development, which is very important. Okay, we're not just going by a schedule of like, oh, at this age, my baby's ready to eat. No, you go by your baby's unique signs and readiness and developments. And we'll go more into that so you have a better understanding. It helps ensure that important milk feedings are not cut out too early, okay? So breast milk or formula, if your baby's formula fed, is the most important food for your baby at this age. Under 12 months, that is the priority as far as food goes. So with baby-led weaning, and you'll find out as I explain it more, but with baby-led weaning, it really helps, you know, that those feedings don't get taken away. Picky eaters are less likely with baby-led weaning, which, you know, it's easier to understand why when I'm going through these things. Encourages confidence and exploration of a wide variety of foods, colors, shapes, tastes. You get to introduce them to all that. What should I know before I want to start? How do I know this is what I want to do? And what should I know before getting started? Okay, so age readiness, no food under 6 months. Okay, sometimes you hear so-and-so recommended, oh, my baby should start eating at 4 months, or should add rice cereal to my baby's bottle. Baby's guts are not ready. Under 6 months, their little guts are not ready for food. They're not ready to digest food. So food after 6 months, not before. Reaching for food, you want to see that they're reaching for food and that they have the palmar grasp. And I'm going to show you a visual picture of what that looks like. But basically, it's that they're able to take their whole palm and pick up things. And you see that they're reaching for food. So when they're sitting on your lap and you're eating your food and they're trying to grab what you're eating, so that's, you know, one of the signs that shows that they are ready. Knowing the difference between gagging versus choking. Okay, this is another misconception. You see a baby gagging, okay, your baby's eating something and they're gagging and people freak out and start banging on their back because they think that they're choking. Most of the time they're not. Gagging is actually a good sign of readiness. It shows that they're able to take food from the back of their mouth and bring it to the front of their mouth. So that's actually very important as far as preventing choking. So knowing the difference between choking versus gagging, and having said that, also being prepared. So you want to be CPR certified in case of choking, right? Okay, so nurse or bottle first. You want to make sure that your baby is not hungry, right? You want it to be a pleasant experience, okay? So making sure that you're not feeding baby when they're hungry, which kind of sounds ironic because you think that, oh, I have to feed them when they're hungry, but no, you have to actually feed them the bottle or milk first because that is what is important, and that comes first. And you also want it to be a calm experience, right? You don't want them to be fussy or freaking out because they're really hungry or tired. So you want to make sure that they're well rested, that they ate, and now they'll be ready to explore the foods that you put in front of them. Okay, next, getting rid of baby food. Okay, so if you are already feeding your baby and you're like, wow, this sounds interesting, I want to switch my baby to this. Okay, so you want to make the switch fully. If you are choosing baby-led weaning, you want to get rid of all the baby foods and purees and switch to real food. Okay, under 12 months, milk is their main source of food, right? I mentioned that earlier. Everything else is for learning and exploration. Okay, it will be messy, so be prepared. You can skip the bowls and utensils in the beginning. They can eat straight from the tray. Some people like to put a towel or a tablecloth under the high chair in case things fall because, you know, it can be messy, and being prepared for that. For me, it wasn't such a big deal. I was okay with that, but for people that, you know, mess is a big deal, you want to be prepared that this way of eating and exploring will include some mess. Next, always let them feed themselves. Don't try and do it for them, okay? That's important for safety. That's important for their development. That's important when it comes to baby-led weaning. Okay, before I want to continue, I don't know why. Okay, I don't see myself, and it's kind of weird. Okay, that's fine. Okay, next, check out these cute pictures. I took this picture straight from the baby-led weaning cookbook, okay, from page 27. It just goes through some of the basics that are important to know. Okay, offer foods at times when your baby isn't tired or hungry, that I already mentioned. Allow your baby to explore the food and play with it. Start by offering foods that are easy to pick up, okay? Look at these pictures. You see that they're picking up sticks or, you know, pieces that are easy to hold. Start by offering foods that are, preferably the same as those you're eating. So when you're eating your meal, you want to give your baby the same food. So when you're preparing meals, you want to have in mind to include your baby in that, and that you're preparing foods that are going to be good for your baby. Offer a variety of foods throughout the week. You want them to develop taste for different things, okay? And you want to avoid things that aren't nutritious. This is going to be great for your family because it's going to get the whole family to eat more nutritious, right? Don't expect your baby to eat very much the first 2 months. Again, it's not about portion size. It's about what they're introduced to, what they get to taste. It's not about, you know, how much actually goes into their little bellies, okay? This isn't their main source of foods like we had mentioned. Carry on offering the breast milk or formula feeds, okay? And just to, you know, be aware that the pattern will slowly change, okay? You want to keep those regular feedings, but as your baby slowly starts to eat more, the milk feedings might spread out slowly. Don't hurry your baby or distract, right? You want to make sure that the meal time is calm and not rushed, so your baby can actually make the choices that they need to make. Offer your baby water with their meals, okay? They don't need so much water, but just sips. You want it to be available in case they are thirsty. Safety is so important. Make sure your baby's sitting upright, okay? That helps prevent with choking. Whole nuts at the baby's reach, okay? No choking hazards foods like chips or nuts. Offer large fruits such as apples. You want it to be cut into strips, okay? So whatever fruit or vegetables you are offering, you want to cut it into strips. And if it's small, make sure to cut it in small pieces. Take out pits, you know, like the grapes and the cherries. Remove skins from sausages, bones, you know, being careful, being mindful. Don't let anyone except your baby put the food in your mouth, okay? So if you have, if your baby has older siblings, you want to make sure that your baby's, you know, safe and not being fed by their older siblings. Explain to whoever is watching your child that you're doing baby-led weaning. Make sure they are aware of how you're feeding your baby so that they can be aligned with that and follow along with that. Okay, next I want to share my kids. Okay, so I did this myself, so I'm sharing from my personal experience. Okay, here's my son. He is now 6. And you can see here he has avocado, which is a great first food. It's a brain food, according to Dr. Sears. He's eating cucumber here. That's really nice for teething. You know, it's cooling. It's nice for their little sore gums. Here's some chicken. And this apple, this picture of the apple, I was actually eating the apple and my son wanted it. So then he's eating it. This is my daughter. She's now almost 4. And you can see she's eating roasted sweet potatoes. She's eating steamed zucchini and carrot sticks, corn on the cob, and she's able to hold it all by herself. And in the picture with the bowl and the spoon, she's a little bit older. So as your child develops and is able to do that, then you'll be able to introduce the bowl and spoon. Okay, next I'm going to introduce you to just a little video to just show you, to actually demonstrate what I'm talking about, okay? So in this video, my son is probably between 7 and 8 months. That's when we introduced food to him. And the first time I gave him cauliflower, he wasn't so into it. The next time I introduced cauliflower to him, I made sure to make it more flavorful. So this was roasted with garlic. So he actually loved it. He was like sucking on it. And you can see that right here, you can see the palmer grass that I was describing earlier. So he's actually using his whole palm to pick it up, and he's able to switch hands. He's able to pick up the other piece. So you get to see it demonstrated exactly what I'm talking about. So he's so cute. And then my daughter in this video, she's a little bit older. Okay, so she's probably closer to a year. So you can see that her fine motor skills are developed. She's got the pincer grasp. And so you can see she's able to pick up these small pieces. She's eating olives and having fun with it. And until today, my kids really, you know, they're little foodies because they really love food and they like trying new things. And I like to say that it's because I did baby-led weaning with them. Okay, which foods to avoid, okay? That's important to know when you're first starting out. You want to make sure you have large stick-shaped, easy-to grasp foods, okay? Fruits, vegetables, baked oatmeal sticks, meat or tuna patties. When you are making these regular foods, be mindful of the shapes that you're making it into. large pasta shapes, chicken strips, pancakes, etc. There's so many great ideas. I would say that priorities should be fruits and vegetables and plant-based, although the other things are fine as well. The grains I would keep to a minimum. As they get older, you can introduce it more. Filtered water and breast milk should be the only drinks offered, and water should be limited to 2 to 6 ounces per day, okay? They really don't need a lot of water, and they shouldn't have. For safety reasons, they shouldn't have a lot of water. Okay, as they get older, more shapes and sizes will be introduced. What to avoid, okay? Salty foods. So little baby's kidneys are not ready to process salt. So it's important when you're cooking to just either minimize the salt, make it very little, or keep it out. And when you're serving the meal to the whole family, put a salt shaker on the table. Excess grains you want to avoid adding refined sugar, additives, honey under 12 months, trans fats, undercooked foods, eggs, undercooked eggs or raw fish, high mercury fish, choking hazard foods such as nuts, chips, etc. So just being mindful of what you're giving to your baby. Next, I want to introduce the Juice Plus Complete Shake. Why do I love this shake? It's such a great way to get into your body, and this is for everyone, adults and children alike, all these different amazing plant-based foods, okay? This is a great way to get these variety of vegetables and sprouted and proteins, mushrooms, all these things that you're not necessarily going to be giving your child every single day. What do I think is so amazing in addition to all these wonderful benefits is that it's more than just a shake. You can actually use it as a flour. So you can actually bake with it in place of regular flour, so you get a much higher nutritional punch. So I'm going to give you some examples here that are great for baby-led weaning, okay? So banana protein muffins, and I'm going to share these recipes on the Facebook group or with anyone who requests them. But you get to see that these are nutritional, nutritionally dense recipes, especially that it has the complete powder in there. So we've got those muffins, we've got the pancakes, and this way you also get to give a variety of taste to your child, as well as getting a good way to get fruits and vegetables in there. Okay, so in addition to the vegetables and the complete, you're also getting pumpkin or whatever else you're putting in, or banana if you're using these banana, the banana recipe. And by putting in spices and cinnamon, you get to give them the variety for their palate. They will end up liking different tastes and want to try different tastes. Look at these yummy waffles. Like they get to try these different spices. Spicy is not necessarily a bad thing for kids. Sometimes like people don't give their kids different spices, but it's actually a good thing to introduce them to different tastes. Now, what is Juice Plus? You heard me mention it. What is it? It's a great way to add a variety of fruits and vegetables to your day. I personally eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, so why would I want this? Because it's not to replace what you're eating. It's to help bridge that gap. And many people are not eating enough fruits and vegetables. We actually need between 7 to 14 servings a day. How many of us get to have that, even if you do eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in your diet? So this is a great way to help bridge that gap, get these fruits and vegetable powders into us. And not only are they just fruits and vegetables, they are at the highest nutritional, they're picked at the highest nutritional peak ripeness, okay? So when you're buying fruits and vegetables in the store, you're not getting what was picked at peak ripeness. You're getting what was picked weeks or months ago even. So this is, it's a game changer. It really, really is. So you get a big variety of fruits, vegetables, berries, as well as plant-based omegas. And we all need omegas in every single cell of our body. So I'm going to go a little bit more into that. Why do I'm demonstrating, I love it myself, and I highly recommend it to everybody, okay? I myself did the research because I care about what I put into my body. And I know everybody should care about what they put into their bodies, and their babies especially, right? And so I did extensive research, and I was so happy to find that it was fully backed by science and research for going back years and years and years. Up until today, they're constantly doing studies that that prove everything that they are saying, all the benefits that they're saying, how good it is for our body. And on top of that, it is bioavailable, which means that what you're putting in your body is actually being absorbed by your body, okay? It's not just going right through you. You're actually absorbing all these nutrients. My kids love them. We're all on it, my husband and my kids. So here's just to show you, okay? So you can see for yourself all the different fruits and vegetables that are in there. Who's eating this every single day? Who's able to eat this variety every single day? I love it. I love knowing that I'm getting this into my body and my kid's body every single day. Okay, so like I said, omegas, we need it in every single cell of our body. And I love that it's plant-based. We're going past that middle fish. We don't need to go to the fish. We actually are going to the source. We are getting it directly from where the fish are getting it from. Okay, so see buckthorn oil, algae, pomegranate seed oil, raspberry seed oil, safflower seed oil, tomato seed oil. These are all such amazing sources. And full spectrum, cold pressed, and it's vegan. So you don't have to, you know, worry about where your fish is coming from or what mercury levels that fish has. So a big part of why I love that. Juice Plus is unique. It is food. It is whole foods. It's literally what it is. It's not a multivitamin. It's whole food sourced. There's a food label. It's not even a nutrition facts for supplements. Okay, so it's all non-GMO, third-party tested, which to me is so important. That something is third-party tested. I want to know what's in there. I want to know that there's no heavy metals, there's no pesticides or herbicides. It's important to me what's in the products I'm putting in my body. And on top of that, it's vegan, kosher, dairy, and gluten-free. And it is the most researched brand name national nutritional product in the world, which is like beyond amazing that we have. It's fully backed by the science. Okay, most of the American diet looks like this. Okay, I'm happy to say my diet doesn't look like that at this point in my life, but it did. Okay, this is what you should be eating. Our diets should be full of fruits and vegetables. And our kids, our babies, okay, so when we're talking about baby-led weaning, we want their beginning, right from the beginning of their introduction to food, we want it to be healthy, right? We want their beginning introduction to food not to look like this. We want it to look like this. And Juice Plus helps bridge that gap. And here just is a list of some of the many studies that have been done. And it's fully backed by research. Why do we have over 10,000 doctors and health practitioners that recommend Juice Plus to their patients? Because it is fully backed by science. And the studies show amazing results. Next, I want to introduce Dr. Sears because I'm going to be talking about something that he that he introduced. So I personally have been a fan of Dr. Sears like before I even had my kids. So as a doula, I recommend his books. I'm a big fan of him. He's a world-renowned pediatrician and wrote many books on all different topics around parenting. And every book that I've read of his really resonates with me, and I really, you know, I really like what he teaches. He cares about the world. He cares about his patients. You can tell just through reading his books. So I want to introduce you to a concept that he created, and that concept is called sprinkles. What is sprinkles? He actually started this as an experiment in his own pediatric office. He encourages parents to basically open up and sprinkle a capsule of ground up powdered fruits and vegetables and berries and omegas onto the mother's fingertip. Okay, so you open the capsule, you put it on your fingertip and place it on the baby's tongue. He uses Juice Plus because it's backed by science. So he suggests that when you're going to your baby, you say, here comes your favorite sprinkle. So mix it into like a fun activity and your child will, you know, become excited about it. So you start with a tiny fingertip and always start with the vegetables, right? And slowly, if you're doing it every day, you slowly increase the amount until you are at a point where you're giving your baby the whole capsule. Okay, so you want to bring your baby to one capsule a day. So then the following week, you know, after you've established the vegetable one, you'll move on to the fruit one and then berry one and omegas. And I've actually, like, I've seen it demonstrated and it's really cute. And babies actually like it. They like having, you know, being able to taste these different tastes. And I know my kids actually love the omegas. That's probably their favorite. They take the chewables of the fruit, vegetable, and berry. The omegas don't come in chewables, but it actually is a good flavored oil. Which is nice because, you know, when you're taking the fish oil, you have those gross fishy burps. So you don't get that with these. It actually is flavored with orange and vanilla, you know, extracts. So it actually has a good taste. And my kids always ask me for the omegas. Okay. So what's the whole idea of the sprinkles? Dr. Sears calls it shaping young taste. He notices that the children who are started early on with the sprinkle test are more likely to grow up and not only eat more veggies, but to actually crave them. And that's also actually was done as a study as far as the Family Healthy Starts program, which I'm going to get to. But when you're eating more fruits and vegetables, you actually crave it, right? So with the study results, it actually showed that and proved it. And I see it myself with my kids. You know, they've always liked tasting new things, but they never really loved salads. Now they love salads, and the only change I could see is the Juice Plus gummies. They've been taking it every day, and I fully believe that it helps create, you know, that palate, and they start craving it more. So they don't turn away fruits and vegetables. They actually love it. It's so cute. Once your child is old enough, okay, so after you're doing the sprinkle test and they're having that capsule once a day, once your child's old enough, then they can be switched from the capsule powders to the chewables. I'm going to show you a little clip with Dr. Sears explaining it and describing it and actually showing it to you, or telling you about it.
3 magic words: shaping young tastes. Shaping young tastes, beginning at 6 months. So you shape their taste for fruits and veggies and good healthy fats like avocados and salmon. And here's another little thing we do at 6 months. I call it my sprinkles test, because the commonest question I get from parents is, my child won't eat vegetables.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
so we have a little veggie talk. At 6 months, we have a little veggie demonstration. I open a capsule of concentrated, ground up vegetables, lots of greens, 10 different greens, all ground up in a capsule. It's called Juice Plus. And I open the capsule, and I have mom wet her finger, and I pour the greens on her finger, the powder, and she places it on baby's tongue, little by little by little, and the baby shapes the baby's taste toward vegetables. And I'll explain what's going on, because the brain is hard to talk about briefly, but I'm going to explain what happens. Say you put a little bit of ground up broccoli or kale or salmon or avocado on the tip of a baby's tongue, and the tongue sends a text message to the brain, and the brain says, like, bunch of Facebook friends up in the brain says, I like broccoli, I like salmon, I like avocado. And then the head brain sends a text to the gut brain that says, hey gut, coming down is really good food. You pretend you like it. And then the gut brain does like it. And the gut brain texts the head brain, says, keep eating more vegetables, it's good for you. That's what we call building in cravings at a very young age in a child.
Oh, interesting. So you don't do it through just introducing food? I mean, you try to give them all different kinds of food, the real foods,
Yes,
and then if
you
that
try to
doesn't
give
work, just giving them something would actually change their palate to help them like food more.
Exactly. And you mentioned you mentioned the magic word there, Kelly, real food. Just serve real foods. We don't feed babies out of a box anymore. Gone are the days of rice cereal out of a box. No. Think outside the box. And one of the reasons, and this is fairly new, one of the reasons for starting real foods in children and babies, the real food diet, is called the microbiome. Now, the microbiome is just a big word for gut bugs, the normal bacteria that live in your gut, trillions of them. Now, in return for free food and a warm place to live, these bacteria do good things for your body. They make lots of natural medicines for your body. And so real food feeds the microbiome, your gut bugs, in a real good way.
I love the way he explains it. Doesn't he explain it really well? I really like the way he explains it. Okay. So here's what I mentioned earlier is the Family Healthy Starts program, which is where the children between the ages of 4 and 18 or under 25 if they're in college can actually Juice Plus for free with their parents, with an adult purchasing it. So I think it's amazing, right? Like your kids can get in this for free. It's like mind-boggling that they can have this in their bodies. And look at these studies. This is what I was explaining to you earlier. There's so many great results from the thousands and thousands of kids who have been a part of this program. And best of all, we have a limited time only promotion where with an adult purchase of Juice Plus, you can get a free child, which is, that's always, but for a limited time, you can actually get on top of that a bag of Complete Shake for free. That's 15 servings of your choice of vanilla or chocolate. It's such a great deal, and I wish I got that deal. It's such a great deal, and you should jump on it while it exists. And next, I want to tell you about the Tower Garden. I am so excited about the Tower Garden. It's amazing, especially if you don't have a green thumb, or if you live in a place where you don't have a yard to garden in, or if you're kosher like me and you want the indoor Tower Garden. The Star K actually says that you don't need to check your produce for bugs because you don't have the issue with infestations when it's with the aeroponic gardens like you do with the outdoor gardens in the soil. And you know, kids are a lot more inclined to eat what they help prepare and what they help grow. So you can involve your kids in growing the garden and they will be more inclined to eat it. And when it comes to baby-led weaning, you can actually be on top of your child's source. You know that there's no herbicides or pesticides, and you know that it's fresh, and you know that it's nutritionally dense, and you know that it's fresh, and you get to give this to your child directly from the garden. So that is like amazing, knowing what you're giving to your child. Okay, now to wrap up, to make sure that you know what baby-led weaning is, I just want to review, okay? So don't put pressure on yourself or baby. You want to keep it as pleasant an experience as possible. You want this to be positive, right? Always after feeding and well rested. Remember, main food under 12 months is milk, okay? So prepare yourself with what to expect. Knowing what to expect, I suggest getting the book if you want to do more research on it, or you could dive right in with what I've explained to you. Remember the safety tips, knowing the difference between gagging or choking. Be prepared with CPR. You should know CPR regardless, but especially with baby-led weaning. Be mindful about size and shapes of food, okay? Don't feed or push your baby. Always be with baby, never alone, okay? Always have your eyes on your baby. And no salty foods. Lots of fruits and vegetables and healthy fats. So remember, sprinkles by Dr. Sears using the plant-based capsules backed by science. And foods baked with complete nutritional powder, great way to get that variety of fruits and vegetables into your child. And most of all, make it a fun experience so your child grows up having good associations with food. I loved my experience with baby-led weaning, and I hope that you will too.
Well, thank you, Chaya. That was such an inspiring presentation, and I got a chance to do a little bit of baby-led weaning, but I wish I knew about the sprinkles when I had my baby. What a wonderful idea. Well, my name is Candace, and I'm so glad you all joined us here, whether it was on Zoom, Facebook, or with a replay. Chaya shared some great info, and we hope you can take at least one thing away from this and apply it to your life to enhance your and your family's well-being. Chaya mentioned Juice Plus, which bridges the gap between what we eat and what we need to eat. If you want more information about Juice Plus capsules, chewies, or the shakes, or even the Tower Garden so you and your family can grow your own fruits and vegetables, please get back with the person who invited you to this call. And if you have a child in your life between the ages of 4 and 18, or an undergraduate under the age of 25, please be sure to ask about our Family Healthy Starts program and take advantage of getting the free bag of Complete Shake Mix. And my son loves participating in the study. We're actually on our 4th year now, so we're getting close to finishing the study, and we've been very proud to be able to participate in it. And there's another opportunity too. If you are thinking of other folks who would benefit, other families who would benefit from adding more fruits and vegetables into their daily diet, you may want to consider joining the financial benefits of partnering with us and becoming part of our community, inspiring healthy living around the world. If you would like to reach Chaya, you can visit her and her services at laboroflovehouston.com, and you can schedule a free consultation meeting with her thank you everyone for coming. We really appreciate you spending some time with us and learning more about baby-led weaning.